We're live now.
Live? Are you sure we're live? Hey,
sure
everybody. Welcome to day 6 of Sideshow's Spooktacular. You may or may not know, Spooktacular is our 24-hour, 10-day Halloween event where we give you lots of benefits, but also no mercy. What did I keep changing my voice through the sentence?
It did. It was impressive, though.
It's an interesting choice, Jeff. Good job. As you know, our motto is sleep is for the weak, and we mean it. I don't even know if it's 9:30 a.m. or 9:30 p.m. I am topsy-turvy. I don't know what's happening. But that means that we have 6 days of reward codes, giveaways, game shows, and other Halloween hijinks passed, and we have 4 days left. And this right here that you are watching is Win, Lose, or Die.
Lightning.
That's how it starts.
That's it. That is.
I need one of those things. You know the.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Paste.
I have a thing for that.
Make notes. Make notes for the next show, Jeff.
I like this. Win, lose, or draw. In case you are just joining us for the first time, which is totally okay. This is a high stakes, choose your own adventure game in which the results either in one person going home with all the glory or everyone just dying. Just everyone dying.
Yeah.
Just all of it.
It's a lot of fun.
Me too, by the way.
I'm gonna be honest. Lots of pressure for the employees here. It's a Dungeons and Dragons style game where players will have to survive 10 choices in order to win that prize. And if you make the wrong choice, someone else will take your place and you'll be gone for good. We have a hit team out. So
we sure do. Yeah.
And players will play by proxy. And what that means is that they are behind the scenes, listening, focusing, paying attention, weighing their options, and they will relay their choices to me, and then I will get them killed. So that being said, we have our game master, Andrew, right here. You see him below me, right there. And we have prizes, a prize for the winner. And Andrew has picked for the winner this amazing Shard Faith Bearers Fury premium format figure by Sideshow. This thing is unbelievable. One of our absolute favorites. If you don't know Andrew, he is hidden by and obsessed with. As you can tell, this is one of our absolute best pieces. I love these. And the private chat, Andrew, everybody, wow, sick, dang, wow. They are interested. They all want to live through this.
Yes. It's a really great piece. Andrew has this at his desk, and I go over and pretend to talk to him just so I can look at it sometimes.
For those of you that are not familiar, you should check out Court of the Dead as well, because it is Sideshow's amazing horror fantasy property. Super cool, lots of lore, and amazing pieces. Andrew's obsession is one of my favorite things. That being said, you don't need me. Did I introduce you, Paul? Did I say that you're Paul?
Hello, I've got a name tag.
Did I say that you're Paul? If I'm a host, he's a mod. How about that? Or he's my co-host. How about that? What are we going to call this connection that we have here, Paul?
I call it love, and I'm just happy to be here.
I'm happy that you're here too, because that's half of the work that I have to do. Now, that being said, nobody wants to hear me talk anymore. So why don't I shut up? And Andrew, why don't you start our episode? And you are going to be you're going to be working with John G first. That is my guy, John G. You're here with me. So in the private chat, he's going to be giving me that information, and I am going to relay it through. So Andrew, without further ado, have at it.
John, let's set the stage. Lightning ricochets off the wall of clouds and pierces the ground not 50 paces from the entrance of the cave. Thunder vibrates your armor and echoes through your bones. You are at once hollow. In an instant, a silhouetted figure stands at an entrance of a cave. You tighten your grip on your blade and approach with torch in hand. He speaks before you can see him. He speaks as if he knows you. Hello, I am your guardian. The light from your torch catches his silver eyes and secret smile. He is unquestionably irresistible, even to you, John. His hands are empty and his figure lacks the jagged edge of a weapon. You sense no threat, but you do sense trickery. My guardian, do you not protect the treasure of the cave? Not at all, he says. In fact, I am here to help you acquire it. He pulls a book from thin air and begins to make strange markings with his finger. It's only then you realize his skin is charcoal. He's writing a spell in runes you do not recognize. What are you? A deal maker? A genie? A djinn? He snarls, but catches himself and smiles at you. The runes in the book fade, and he produces an unnatural daylight from the palm of his hand. In full light, you see him as he is. His horrid beauty captures you, but in this light, on this treacherous journey, you would be a fool to turn away a guardian of any sort. You have now entered the first level of the dungeon. As you make your descent into the cave, you make small talk with the djinn. Are there any rules to my wishes? You ask. They are not wishes, they are deals. We must make an equivalent trade, but then there are no limits to deals as there are in wishes. I can do anything for you. No limits, so as many deals as I want? His smile practically cracks his face in half. So long as you have something to trade. I see, you say. He may be deceiving you. In fact, he may be the very first challenge of this dungeon. Do you, A, attack the djinn, B, decide to trust him, or C, trade your gloves in exchange for proof of his power?
Okay. John G said the video froze for me and he's not getting anything. So that being said, why don't we try to figure that out? Paul, should we move to the next person and get John back in?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so then Janelle, this is going to be your decision right here. Janelle S. Can you give the options again?
I can, yes. Do you, Janelle, A, attack the djinn, B, decide to trust him, or C, trade your gloves in exchange for proof of his power?
Okay, Janelle, attack, trust, or trade. What do we want to do? She's going to trade the gloves for the proof.
I will trade you my gloves for you to prove your power. The djinn turns to look at you. Certainly. Shake on it. You reach your hand to shake, and your palm touches his. It's like you were never wearing gloves at all. And when you pull your hand back, you find a small scroll curled up in the palm of your hand. You unfurl it. It reads, "Told you so." You have now entered the second level of the dungeon. The first cave you enter is massive. You marvel at the height of the ceiling and intricate carvings on the walls. Your eyes are alight, and you feel a hand grab your shoulder. The djinn stops you before you walk off a ledge. A deep cut in the earth separates this side of the cavern from the other. Only a rickety bridge of gnarled, decaying wood will take you to the other side. But as if you were expected, the bridge supports begin to come loose from their place. Do you, A, use your boots to make a running jump across the bridge, or B, trade your boots to get the djinn to get you across safely?
Janelle, are we going to use our boots or trade our boots? What are we going to do here?
Oh, Lord.
I know.
Just tell me, Janelle. Ooh, she's thinking.
Janelle's going to use those boots.
All right. All right.
You push your legs past their limit. Your boots glow with the energy of your intent. You leap and launch across the chasm, catching onto the other side by jamming your blade into the earth. You pull yourself up and bring your blade with you. You have now entered the third level of the dungeon. You emerge into a new cave. The air is hot and sweat beads up on your brow. The room is filled to the brim with hellhounds. They are, luckily, asleep, but even a single sound above the whisper might wake them. You begin to tiptoe across, placing each step with care on the glowing cracks beneath your feet. Tip-toe, tip-toe, ting! The hilt of your blade rings your armor like a bell, and the hellhounds are awake. Do you, A, use your armor to defend yourself and run through the swarm of beasts, or B, trade your armor to the djinn in exchange for invulnerability?
Ooh, what are we going to do here, Janelle? Are we going to trade our armor? She's going to trade that armor. She wants that invulnerability.
All right. Djinn, my armor! Say no more! His fingers scribble and snap the book closed. You feel like a weight has been taken off your shoulders. It has. You no longer have armor, but when the hellhound's teeth close in around your flesh, your skin does not give. Their teeth shatter on your glowing form. You let out a war cry, and the hounds flee in awe and fear. And once they are gone, the glow fades. You have now entered the fourth level of the dungeon. You shiver in the cold and pull your wool coat out of your pack. The pathway lies ahead. A cool breeze whispers around your helmet. You almost think you hear your name. You are meant to be here. This treasure is meant for you. In this room, there does not appear to be any way forward. There is only a cave wall with piles of perished paladins slumped against it. It appears hopeless, but you will find a way. Do you A, remove your helmet to listen to the breeze for clues, or B, trade your helmet to the Djinn so you can walk through the wall?
Are we going to use our helmet, or are we going to trade that helmet? Are we going to listen, or are we going to walk through the wall? I am nervous. Who's going to use that helmet?
Okay.
You remove your helmet and listen closely to the beckoning wind. You close your eyes and strain, putting one foot in front of the next. You do not know where you are going, only that the wind is taking you there. You feel lighter than air for a moment, and when you open your eyes, you are on the other side of the wall. You have now entered the 5th level of the dungeon.
Oh,
Janelle is on a roll today.
Janelle, you've got me nervous, and
I know.
I don't think we've ever had somebody get this far on the first try.
On the first go.
This is amazing. Janelle, you make your way under a stone archway, decorated with glowing runes, and push through a narrow pass. A lake stretches out before you, but you can see the other side of the room not far off. Fireflies hover above and around the water, lighting the way and revealing the creatures deep in the lake. A small boat rests on the shore, but there is no wind for the sail and no paddle in sight. Do you A, leave your daggers behind so you can swim across without sinking, or B, trade your daggers to get wind in your sail?
Are we going to leave our daggers behind? She's going to trade. She wants to trade those daggers.
Djinn, take my daggers and put wind in my sail. Very well. You clamber into the boat and it creaks under your weight. The Djinn writes in his book. Your dagger disappears and you feel the wind about you. It's in your ears, it's in your heart. The wind pushes faster and faster. You rocket across the lake, plowing through the waters, parting them. You do not follow the path of the fireflies, and you do not follow their light. So you never see the massive boulder in your path. And you don't see anything after that.
Oh no!
Janelle, you have smashed into the rock and you are dead. Janelle, we were all pulling for you, but unfortunately,
you're doing so well, Janelle.
You have died a terrible, horrible death. And we are
a beautiful death
that you have gotten us that far. I am with bated breath. We are going to revisit my man John. He is coming right back now. Andrew, you are with John again.
John, hi. Let's go through a couple of those choices there. Number 1, do you decide to attack the Djinn? B, decide to trust him? Or C, trade your gloves in exchange for proof of his power?
All right, John, what are we going to do? He's going to trade those gloves for proof.
You trade the gloves, shake hands, and he says, "Told you so," in that little scroll. Now, there's a chasm you've got to run across. Do you use your boots to run across or trade your boots to get across safely?
Are we going to use the boots or trade the boots? What are we going to do, John? We're going to use them boots.
You use the boots and you leap across safely. And then there are the hellhounds, of course, which you have to tiptoe through. Do you use your armor to defend yourself against the swarm of beasts or trade your armor?
And we're going to trade that armor.
Trade in the armor. And then there is the wall. Are you going to remove your helmet to listen to the breeze or trade your helmet so you can walk through the wall?
Are we going to use our helmet or trade our helmet? We're going to use
the helmet. And by taking it off, you pass through beautifully. And then there is the lake. So will you leave your daggers behind so you can swim across without sinking, or trade your daggers to get wind in your sail?
Are we going to trade our daggers, or are we going to keep them? Or leave them? Leave them, right?
Yeah, you would leave your daggers. Okay,
I apologize.
Nice. Okay.
I misspoke. We're going to leave them behind.
You leave your daggers behind and begin to swim. The fireflies guide your way over the deepest part of the lake. You keep your eyes up and try to ignore the massive beasts of below, but you feel something brush against your leg. You look down at the eye of the size of your body. The eye turns and rolls, and you see murky, mossy teeth stretch out. You kick faster and try not to look behind you. You can't scream because you lose your breath. You can hardly breathe. You can hardly think. You just swim. And finally, you make it to the shore. You have now entered the 6th level of the dungeon.
Nice.
All right.
The area of this cave is well lit, though by natural or magical means you do not know. You walk a small way before finding yourself at the top of a long, steep stairway, descending into the infinite depths of the cave, one step at a time. Am I the first mortal on these steps? You ask the Djinn. Yes, since they were built. Hold your tongue, Djinn, I hear something. A faint ticking, a gear turns, a click. The stairs suddenly bend and crack till they are perfectly smooth decline. Your feet fall out from under you and you slip onto your back. Your shield falls to your left and begins to slip. Your helmet bashes down onto the ground, saving your skull, but splintering and falling off, clattering down the slope. The only way forward is down. Do you A, leap down the slope towards your shield and try to use it as a sled? Or B, trade your slipping shield to the Djinn so you can grapple your way down safely?
Are we going to trade our shield, or are we going to use our shield as a sled?
You gotta leap down. Yeah.
Leap down.
Trade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Trading. Yeah.
Andrew, please tell me. I'm so nervous.
As you're slipping down the slope, you flip over to make eye contact with the Djinn. He is magically walking down the slope as if gravity was his plaything. As you're sinking further and further, you try to grab the earth to slow your descent so you can trade with the Djinn. Your fingers scrape on the earth, past the glove, past the skin, past the bones. You try to scream out, I will give you my shield, but the earth underneath you rumbles, jumps, and lurches as you bite off your tongue before you finish. You fall into the depths of the blood-soaked cave floor.
Oh, no.
Oh my God, John, we are dead. John, oh my God, we are so sorry about that. Oh, that's so freaky. John, thank you so much for dying, but blazing away for our next hero. We have our next hero is Josh S.
Josh, let's do this.
Josh, you are next. Josh,
okay, Josh,
he's ready to go.
Number 1, do you attack the Djinn, decide to trust the Djinn, or trade the Djinn your gloves?
Attack, trust. He's trading.
You trade. He's magical. Do you use your boots to make it across the chasm, or do you trade your boots to get across the chasm?
He's going to use them boots.
You're going to use the boots? Okay. You use the boots, and you're so good at jumping, you make it. There are hellhounds all around you. Are you going to use your armor or trade your armor for invulnerability?
Trade. We're going to trade it.
You trade your armor. Turns out he's good at his job as a Djinn, as a guardian, and he protects you. You are stopped by a wall. Do you remove your helmet to listen or trade your helmet?
Are we going to remove our helmet, or are we going to trade our helmet? He's going to remove that helmet.
Well, removing the helmet will let you walk straight through it. Of course, you've got the lake that you've got to get across. Will you leave your daggers behind or trade your daggers to get wind in your sail?
Are we going to leave the daggers, or are we going to trade those? He's going to leave them daggers. He don't need them.
And that'll get you across safely. And then, of course, there is the slope. The terrible, terrible slope. The area of this cave is well lit, though by natural or magical means you do not know. You walk a small way before finding yourself at the top of a long, steep stairway, descending into the infinite depths of the cave, one step at a time. Am I the first mortal on these steps, Djinn? No. A being named Janelle has come before you. And what happened to them? Well, they slipped. You start hearing a turn and a creak as the floor flattens and you slip down. So, will you leap down the slope towards your shield and try to use it as a sled, or trade your shield to the Djinn to get safely down?
I'm gonna leap and grab that shield.
You leap forward with a graceful roll and fall into the shield. You pull your hands close to your sides. It's the most aerodynamic form. You fall and grab the shield edges and do your best to steer, carrying on. You have now entered the 7th level of the dungeon.
Ooh.
You careen down the twisted pathway that was once stairs, now slope. You turn to look for the Djinn behind you, but he's gone. Perhaps he's coming down behind you at a different pace. The rules of your world just might not apply to him. You slide lower and lower into the dungeon, past rooms with walls made of jewels, sanctuaries, and shrines to old gods. This long descending hallway is bright from the glow of gold. They illuminate the blood-soaked floor of the slide in front of you. Do you A, guide your sled shield into a gilded shrine, or B, continue down the slide?
Are we going to continue, or are we going to make a golden stop?
A golden, yeah, it's one of the shrines of the old gods.
We're gonna shrine of the old god. We're going to continue down.
All right. You glide past the rooms and find yourself released from some sort of enchantment. Only then do you realize that these rooms aren't empty. They have travelers no different from you, staring out at you, chanting. There's Janelle and John. They chant for you in unison. You are an excellent treasure, they say. You are an excellent treasure. But you have now entered the 8th level of the dungeon. Glad to be gone of the accursed rooms, you slide, and the Djinn is suddenly beside you. You left me, you accuse the Djinn. I did not. I looked for you down that treacherous slide. My powers were weakened near the shrines of the old gods. I was there, but you couldn't see me, and now you are here. There's another challenge. Look alert. Nearing the bottom of the slope, there is a jump. You guide your shield towards the high rise and fling off of it. Your shield falls out from under you. Without the weight of your armor, your shield, or your helmet, you seem to glide. And then you're falling. The height of 10 men. Do you A, enchant your blade to spin around like wind itself and land you safely on the ground? Or B, trade the Djinn your blade for your safe landing?
Are we going to trade it, or are we going to enchant our blade?
I don't know, Jet. Oh, not me.
Not you, Paul. You don't. Paul,
right.
you died when you walked right up.
Yeah.
Josh and I are going to enchant our blade.
You enchant your blade and begin to spin with it. Suddenly, you are not falling. You hover gently in the air. But your blade will not slow or descend. It carries you higher, faster, and squishes you into the ceiling of the cave.
Oh no. That's bad, right?
Yeah, that's a no-go.
Oh no.
Josh just said LOL.
There are multiple pathways in this game, you know? That's one of them.
And that one of them is to helicopter yourself into the ceiling and die. And unfortunately, Josh, that's exactly what we did. So you are past. Unfortunately, we are going to have to move on to our man, Colin, our trepid hero.
Gosh.
Intrepid.
Colin?
Intrepid? Why did I say trepid? Anyway.
Trepidatious.
Sure. Let's just pretend I know words. Colin, we have you right here. Let's go.
Ready to go. Let's do this. Are we going to attack the Djinn, decide to trust the Djinn, or trade the gloves in exchange for proof of his power?
We're trading them
Trade
gloves.
the gloves? He is so magical. You enter a cavern with a big old chasm in the middle. You're going to jump across, or you're going to see if you can trade for it. Trade those boots.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
Can you use the boots?
We're going to use the boots. You got to let me say it. You got.
Sorry, you're right. I'm getting too excited. I'm going to cover the screen so I don't see his answers. I'm so excited by it. I just want more. Okay.
I'm nervous too.
Yeah. Okay. You trade the boots, or no, you use the boots. So sorry. And then you're an amazing jumper. So good at it. There's hellhounds all around you. Are you going to use your armor and run through the swarm of beasts, or trade your armor for invulnerability?
What are we going to do with that armor? Are we going to use it, or we're going to trade it?
We're trading it?
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're glowing. You're just glowing with magic. Paul over here. There's a wall, and you've got a helmet. You could take it off and listen for clues, or take it off and trade it so you can walk through the wall. What are we going to do?
Are we going to take it off, or are we going to trade it? What are we going to do with that helm? Take it off, he says.
Woo! You take it off, and you go ahead and walk through that wall. You listen to the breeze. You listen to the breeze like, great job. So now you got to swim across that lake. You going to leave your daggers behind or trade them?
What are we going to do with them daggers? Are we going to leave them behind, or are we going to trade them? We're going to leave them behind.
We're leaving them behind so we can swim across safely, even though you felt that thing on your foot there. Am I the first mortal on these steps, you ask the Djinn? No, a being named John, Janelle, Josh, they all came before you. What happened? They slipped. Will you leap for your shield, or trade the Djinn your shield to get down safely?
What are we going to do with that shield? Are we going to leave it, or we're going to leap it? Excuse me. We're going to
leap it.
Yeah, we're going to leap for that shield. It's a leap year.
Okay. You're careening down that twisted path. There are gilded shrines on either side. Are you going to go into a gilded shrine or just pass them by? Miss that opportunity.
What are we going to do with the gilded shrines? Are we going to stop by one, or are we're going to pass them by?
Dang it. Okay. You you pass by and you hear John, Janelle, Josh, and many other travelers saying, "You are an excellent treasure." And now you are sliding and you jump and you're going through and you're gonna fall. Are you gonna use your blade and helicopter yourself? Or are you gonna trade the Djinn your blade for your safe landing?
Are you going to enchant our blade, or are we going to trade our blade? We're going to trade the blade.
Nice.
You are falling faster and faster by the second. Djinn, my blade! Your blade disappears and the Djinn begins writing. You are falling. You are falling and the Djinn has failed you. You clench your jaw, let out a vicious growl, and clench your eyes shut as you brace for the impact of the floor of death. But it never comes. You're standing, and you have now entered the 9th level of the dungeon.
I'm so nervous.
I know. I am so tense.
I don't even get a prize. I'm just so nervous.
You think now might be a good time to have a sword, because you're in front of a great and terrifying red beast. It has the horns of a devil, the nose of a hound, the body and arms of an ape, the tail of a scorpion, and the size of 3 elephants. But it's completely asleep. Its hand rests palm up on the ground and holds a single silver key. Do you A, carefully replace the key with your medallion, or B, trade the medallion for the key?
Are we gonna trade it, or are we going to magic it, right?
So you're either going to replace the key with the medallion, that's you.
Yes.
Or you just magic it up with the Djinn and trade it so that instead of your medallion, you've got the key.
Okay, so Colin says he wants to do the magical trade.
So you want to make the trade with the Djinn. I want to make sure.
I'm going to wait confirmation with Colin. Trade it to the Djinn. Is that correct?
Ooh.
Magical trade, yes.
You whisper, careful not to wake the beast. I will give you my medallion for the key. The Djinn nods. In an instant, 4 things happen. First, your medallion disappears. Second, a key appears in your hand. Third, the Djinn dissipates. And finally, the beast sniffs the air. It does not smell the key. Its eyes open, so do its jaws, and you're devoured.
Oh no! Colin, we were eating crud. Well, you will be in a little bit, Colin. You sure will. Unfortunately, Colin, you were devoured by a demon beast, and we are going to be the end result of that, unfortunately. Which means, unfortunately, Colin, you are no longer with us. You are now an excellent treasure. So we are going to move to my man Bobby P. Bobby, sound off in the chat that you are here, so we see you. And then Bobby is here, so he's ready to go. Andrew.
All right, let's do this. Also, Jeff, you remembered. Thank you. You remembered my story.
I hope I would pay attention to the story. It's all I have going right now. I am invested in it.
There are multiple paths. Do you A, attack the Djinn, B, decide to trust him, or C, trade your gloves for proof of his power?
Trade them gloves.
He magic, baby. You enter the 2nd level of the dungeon. Do you run across the bridge or trade the boots?
Use the boots or trade the boots. These boots were made for using.
And use them you do. One of these days, these boots are going to jump all over a chasm. You're tiptoeing through the flowery hellhounds. Will you use your armor or trade your armor for invulnerability?
I'm going to trade that armor for my invulnerability, please.
Yeah, he's a magic man, says a wonderful band. And you safely make it. There you go. You safely make it through the hellhounds. As you hit a wall, you think, maybe I should take off my helmet. Maybe I should trade my helmet. What are you thinking?
What are we going to do with that helmet? We're going to remove that helmet. That's what we're going to do.
Well, you remove the helmet and you hear the wind calling your name, so you pass right through that wall. In this beautiful, beautiful firefly-lit lake, are you going to leave your daggers behind or trades for some wind in your sail?
Are we going to leavies or tradesies? We're going to leavies. We're going to leave those daggers.
We're going to leave these then. You've entered the 6th level of the dungeon, where the Djinn informs you that quite a few have passed through here before, being named John, Janelle, Josh, well, you know. They all slipped. Are you going to continue to slip and trade your shield, or roll down and grab that shield yourself?
What are we going to do with that shield? We're going to grab that shield. we're gonna leap for that shield, baby.
We're going to grab that shield. Sure. Now, you're going down a beautiful gilded shrine pathway. Again, gorgeous shrines on the side. Or you can keep going down. What are you going to do?
What are we going to do? He's like, I'm not going to stop at those shrines. Keep going, man. Keep going.
All right. Fine. My favorite part of it. Fine. You enter the 8th level of the dungeon and you're falling. You're helplessly falling. Are you going to pull a link and spin around with your sword, or are you going to trade the Djinn your sword?
What are we going to do with that sword? We're going to trade the blade, he says.
You trade the blade and land safely. You're in front of a great and terrifying red beast. It's got that key in its hand. Are you going to carefully replace the key with your medallion, or trade the Djinn your medallion for the key?
What are we going to do? What are we going to do with that medallion? He's like, I'm going to carefully replace it myself like Indiana Jones.
That's exactly what it is. That's the imagery I'm trying to provoke here. So you remove your medallion and creep closer to the beast. You bounce the medallion in your hand, assessing its weight. You look at the key and at the beast. The feeling of silver must be exactly the same. The beast cannot be disturbed. You roll the medallion on just as you pull the key off. The beast's fingers curl slowly, then relax. It takes a heavy breath. You have entered the 10th and final level of the dungeon.
Oh
Man.
Oh, Bobby P. Bobby P in the private chat just says, ah.
And I know people can't see it, but I can see some of the people's videos behind him. I see Christian just licking his chops there, just waiting. Who would be our next player?
Waiting in the wings for this.
No mercy in
two
Spooktacular.
people's fates are dependent on this decision. So I'm invested. Andrew,
Here we go.
Andrew, take us home, baby.
You and the Djinn creep quietly through the doorway behind the beast and close it behind you. You are safe. Now that you have the key, says the Djinn, you must find the lock. Huh, right. I hadn't thought about that. You scratch your head and look around the room. There are 2 doors, one with a carving of the old gods, and one with a carving of the Djinn. Do you A, unlock the door of the old gods, B, unlock the door of the Djinn, or C, break the key?
What are we going to do? We have 3 options here. Bobby. We can go Djinn door, old gods door, or break the key. Bobby's going to break the key.
Oh, I like Bobby.
The Djinn looks at you completely confused. Really? So this whole thing was pointless? All right.
And then
that's it.
And then we are dead. We are stuck there for the rest of our lives.
You're just there.
Well, that counts as a death.
Bobby, you are going to starve to death. Unfortunately, we are stranded in the 10th dungeon for the rest of our lives and will die in a few days due to starvation. Bobby, we almost got you there. So close. Which means, unfortunately, you are among the dearly departed treasures that we now have. And we are going to welcome my man, Christian F. Christian, who has been waiting in the wings, teeth salivating like a hellhound, waiting to go. Christian, we're ready to go. He's ready. Let's go.
Christian, let's get through this. Number 1, you're going to attack the Djinn, trust the Djinn, or trade your gloves.
What are we going to be? He said, this is crazy. I'm going to trade.
You're gonna trade. You got boots. Are you gonna use them to run across the gap there? You're gonna trade them.
What are we gonna do? He's gonna use them boots, baby.
Use them. You do. You got hellhounds all around you, like a beautiful little garden of blossoms. You're gonna use your armor to defend yourself from these deadly blossoms, or trade your armor to the Djinn for invulnerability.
Christian, what are you gonna? He's gonna trade that armor,
and that'll serve you well. It'll get you all the way up to that wall where you'll have to decide to either remove your helmet or trade your helmet.
What are we going to do, Christian, with the helmet? Are we going to remove? He's going to remove the helmet.
It's much needed. You're going to need that helmet later. But right now, you're going to have to decide whether you'll leave the daggers behind so you can swim without sinking, or trade the daggers so you can get some wind in that sail.
Are we going to leave we're going to leave the daggers.
We call
it. And that'll help you. That'll help you in the long run. You are not the first person down this long, steep stairway. You are not the first person that slipped. We left that to the honor of a lot of other folks. That helmet will keep your head safe as you slam down the slope. Are you going to leap towards your shield, or are you going to trade your shield?
What are we going to do, Christian? We're going to leap to the shield.
You do an extremely cool somersault, and you do like a cool little like jazz hands at the end of it as you're in your shield. Now you're going down a beautiful slide, and on either side of you there are gilded shrines to the old gods. You gonna go in there, or are you gonna keep going?
Are we gonna keep going, or are we gonna stop by? He's gonna pass right by him.
You're going to pass right by the shrines of the old gods. Which is good, because you got like everyone there these days saying you are an excellent treasure. I mean, it's like a whole group of... Anyway, you're falling now because you did a little jump. Remember that? Are you going to spin around like a helicopter, or trade the Djinn your blade to land safely?
What are we going to do? Are we going to spin the blade or trade the blade? Trade that blade.
You trade that blade for your... beautiful landing, and you do like a little, like a, I don't know what they're called, plie? Sure. You're in front of that beautiful, terrifying beast. You've got your medallion. Are you going to replace the key, or are you going to trade the key? For the key?
Christian, what are you going to do here? He says, I'm getting a migraine for one thing. But Christian is going to replace that key. We're going to Indiana Jones that thing.
You Indiana Jones it beautifully. There are 2 doors in this 10th and final dungeon. Are you going to A, unlock the door of the old gods, B, unlock the door of the Djinn, or C, break the key? There's another key now.
Right.
Also, Wild, Bobby's in there. You remember him?
This is like a corpse of Bobby.
No, this is like a day later.
Christian has decided that he is going to open the Djinn door.
You press the key into the door of the Djinn. Then you're not at the door, you're at the Djinn. Your key is plunged into his chest. You meet his silver eyes welling with tears as his charcoal body cracks along the edges. You would take from the tomb of your guardian Djinn? What a shame. I had come to think we were getting along. The Djinn shatters and turns to dust. Your hands are stained with charcoal powder, and now, without armor, weapons, clothes, or key, you have nothing. And in time, you become nothing.
Oh, Christian. Christian. Oh, my God. You died. I'm so sorry.
Oh, jeez.
I'm so sorry. And then waiting in the wings, salivating, and with an OMG, we have our next champion, Vincent, who is sneaking in under the cover of night. We are ready to go. Vincent, Christian, that was so impressive. We missed you. We miss you already. You are back to being the treasure. Let's go.
Vincent. The world is thundering outside, and you can feel it in your bones as you meet this mischievous Djinn. Are you going to attack him, trust him, or ask for some proof of his power? Get the proof. Proof's in the pudding, I guess. Maybe you're asking for pudding.
Vincent, what are we going to do? He's going to trade gloves.
Yeah, well, he gives you pudding. It's delicious, by the way. You're in a beautiful chasm. Are you gonna use your boots to run across it, or trade your boots?
Use the boots or trade the boots? Use dem boots, baby.
You use dem boots, baby, and then you are in the third level of the dungeon with a variety of hellhounds. Are you gonna hope that your armor stands the test of time, or trade it?
What are we going to do?
I know the story. I'm just still so anxious. I know.
I'm just doing my job. I'm so nervous. We're going to trade the armor.
You trade it, which is good, is what you needed to do. So you've got this helmet. It's in the way of the breeze, which is trying to whisper to you, do you take the helmet off or trade it? Because the Djinn will help you.
What are we going to do? What are we going to do with it, Vincent? We're going to remove that helmet.
Okay. Well, turns out you can walk through walls if the wind calls your name. You got a beautiful lake out in front of you. Fly. You going to leave your daggers behind, or are you going to get some wind in your sail from the Djinn?
What are we going to do with those daggers, Vincent?
I'm just giving up on saying fireflies.
Look, man, you've been doing a lot of talking. I understand. You're
lightning bugs.
Leave them behind.
He's going to leave him behind.
Oh, okay, we're going to leave him behind. Perfect. You enter the sixth and slipperiest level of this dungeon. Are you going to somersault towards your shield or trade your shield to the Djinn so you can grapple your way down safely?
Are we going to leap for the shield or trade the shield? Leap for that shield, baby. I'm going to leap for it.
You leap for the shield, which is great.
Just a great.
It's great form. There are shrines of the old gods on either side of you. Are you going to go into these gilded shrines or continue down the slide?
What are we going to do about that slide? What's our plan? We're going to continue down the slide.
Yeah, so as you continue down the slide, the enchantment is taken off. These aren't empty rooms. They have John, Janelle, Josh, and Bobby, and Christian, and everyone holding up tens. That was a really good somersault you did when you grabbed your shield. Excellent form. You're falling now. Are you going to spin around with your blade or trade the Djinn your blade?
Are we going to helicopter that? We're going to trade that blade.
Trade that blade. Now, standing in front of the beast with only your medallion and your dignity left. Well, your medallion at least. Are you going to replace the key or trade the Djinn, the medallion, for the key?
What are we going to do? We're going to replace the key.
Tell me, Vincent.
With silver key in hand.
Okay.
With silver key in hand, you enter the 10th and final dungeon. And there are two bodies laid waste there, and two doors. The door of the old gods, the door of the Djinn. And you have the option to break the key as well. Just throwing that out there. The one you worked for.
What are we going to do, Vincent? What door are we going to take? Remember,
Old
be careful. What he said, old gods.
Okay.
You unlock the door of the old gods. Inside, on a golden podium, rests a piece of treasure you've been searching for years. Paul, you can show them. One single beautiful figurine, an intricate carving of the most fearsome warrior of all time. An excellent addition to your collection. Congratulations, you have won.
You have won Shard Faithbearer's Fury.
Congratulations.
I can't believe this has been the most stressful episode that we have done of Win, Lose, or Die so far. Congratulations, Vincent. What a prize. What an amazing thing to pick up. I am so excited for you and so thankful to all of our contestants who braved the Djinn tomb. Have done such an amazing job. We all got there. This has been, by the way, the longest and most stressful episode we've done. I am very nervous. So that being said, we are so excited that you all joined us for watching this. The comments, by the way, filled up so fast.
Yes.
I have never seen a group watching something that was just so invested in this.
And let me tell you, I took notes from people who had commented who were trying to break your story and your lore, like they were trying to figure it out. Shout out to Dario Rivera on YouTube, who said it's obviously the old god's door. No, he said it's obviously the Djinn door, because when you pass the old god's tomb, you survive. So if you went to the old god's tomb, you die. So he said it can't be the old god's door. So clearly we have no idea what's going on in Andrew's
I had a guess. I knew it was the old god's tomb, but maybe for a different reason. I thought it was the old god's tomb because the Djinn didn't have power with them. So that it was going to be like, because sometimes the Djinn are tricky. I figured the old gods would negate the power of the Djinn if the Djinn was going to. So that was my thought.
Yeah, see, the old gods were the ones trapping people there. They're the reason the treasure's so hard to get. So they're the ones keeping it. The Djinn really was your guardian from the start. And
So
he didn't have any power.
By the way, everybody wants to know what the options were that we missed, such as what happens when you stop at the shrine of the old gods.
Can I share that? Do we have a minute?
Sure do, yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Or should I save it?
For what?
You're done after this, dude.
Yeah, you can clock
I'm
out.
fired?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, tell us what happened.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what happens in the shrine of the old god. I have to find it. You shift your weight and turn into one of the many beautiful rooms on either side of the treacherous slope. When you enter, you are welcomed by a voice you have never heard before. A voice that echoes in your head on and on until there is no room for anything but the voice. You think to escape, but when you turn to leave the room, an invisible barrier separates you from the long slope you were on. You think to scream, but then you do not think at all. You are only these welcoming words. Soon, they are the only thing on your mind, in your heart, and on your lips. You are an excellent treasure.
Oh, then you're donezo.
My other option here, my other question that I have, because I know we can't do every option because we don't have 6 hours, because Andrew is a prolific writer. But what happens if you trust the Djinn in the beginning instead of asking him for proof?
If you trust the Djinn?
Yeah, because those are my gloves. Like, I would have kept dying there because those are my gloves. I'm not giving up my gloves.
Yeah, I'm half.
This one's probably the shortest answer I have. You decide to trust him, though you'll need to test his magic soon.
Okay.
Oh, so you've been safe. Yeah,
so
moving forward.
So there's two positive options in the first.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Nice. We did have a Sierra on Facebook say that she was hoping that the old god's door would also release all the old souls of Bobby and of John and free everyone. But no, they're there forever.
No, just the charred Faith Bearers Fury premium format figure from the Sideshow,
which is canonically written into that world.
I know, which is available on the Sideshow website. Check it out, I'm sure. But that being said, God, that was so good. I am so stressed. I can't get over how stressed I am. And if you want to continue with the option and the opportunity to win something, or to just be as stressed as I am at all times, remember that we can still have signups for contestants at side.show/contestants wanted. And remember, we pick from random at the pool. And that includes any of our excellent treasures that died along the way today. They are back in the pool. This is all random. We like to keep it as fair as possible. So definitely sign up, because we've still got 4 more days of contests, as well as giveaways, as well as reward codes. There's so much going on, so many great things being pushed your way, that you're going to definitely want to head over to YouTube, hit subscribe, and then hit the notifications bell. Every time I say this, and I feel like some people aren't heeding my warning here, you need those notifications. Trust me. Trust us, you want them, and I'm begging you to do it. Like, I'm not invested in it other than I want you to get the benefit. Okay, so definitely hit that notifications bell so you can get the push notifications when special surprise videos drop. Also, you're going to want to follow us on social media. That's liking the page on Facebook, as well as at Collect Sideshow on Twitter and at Sideshow Collectibles on Instagram, for the same exact reason that I told you on the YouTube. And you're going to want to join the Let Your Geek Sideshow Facebook group, because there is a lot of Facebook group specific things available as well. Plus, it's a great community of people that are having a good time and like to collect. Andrew, I can't stress enough how much you stressed me enough. You were fantastic. That was such an amazing story. We look to see more from you in that regard.
Yes. And while we have a couple people here thank you all who have stuck around and are asking questions, I can get a lot of these out of the way really quickly. You can, as Jeff said, you can still register to be a contestant on one of these excellent games down there at side.show/contestants wanted. And contestants are notified by email from the wonderful, wonderful Haley, and she sets up all of that. So me and Jeff can just come on here and be terrified with these stories. So big shout. If you see Haley in the comments, give her a like and a digital hug, because she works really, really hard to make sure all that is set up. And also for everyone asking for us to release all of these stories, which includes Amy's, which includes Jasmine's, and of course Andrew's, and one more that we have still yet to play. Of course, we're working on it, and we will be doing it. So that's just so everyone can play at home with their friends and family.
We've got so that'll be great. So you can all enjoy the nerves that Andrew did. Paul, thank you, buddy. You were such a good job. You were so organized, and you were so making this easy for me. And you were the only person else other on camera that I was sitting there like I was stressed.
And again, in case you guys, this is your first episode, your first Spooktacular, whatever it may be, me and Jeff do not know these stories. We have not seen these beforehand. So these reactions are genuine. We have no idea. So Andrew did very much stress me and Jeff out for the rest of the day. So thank you for that.
It's especially when we do the games here, like we have to come in with as minimal information as possible, because it just makes it so much better that there's only one games master, and that's this guy right here, right, buddy?
Oh, that's me. That's me. That's your local writer.
Paul, thank you so much for being my co-host. And Andrew, thank you so much for being my game master. Jeff, thank you so much for being so kind to yourself sometimes. Thank you to our moderators. And of course, thank you to each and every one of you that is watching this. We appreciate you. We don't exist without you on here. And you are so appreciated. Don't forget to let your geek side show. And of course, don't forget that sleep is for the